Did you support a spouse, a parent, or another family member with a serious physical or mental condition last year? If you did, you may have been able to claim up to $8,601 on your 2025 tax return. It's called the Canada Caregiver Credit. And some people may miss it, simply because the rules can be confusing. Caring for someone is hard enough. And if there is tax relief you may be entitled to, it's worth knowing about. Let's make retirement a little smarter. So what is the Canada Caregiver Credit? It's a non-refundable tax credit from the Canada Revenue Agency. That means it can reduce the federal tax you owe. But it's not a cash payment. If you have no federal tax to reduce, this credit will not create a payment by itself. Still, for many Canadian families with taxable income, it can mean real savings every year. So who can claim it? You may be able to claim this credit if you supported a family member who had a physical or mental infirmity during the tax year. That word, infirmity, is important. This credit is not just for caring for an aging parent or a spouse who needs help. The family member must have an actual physical or mental impairment, and you may need a signed statement from a medical practitioner to confirm it. If the CRA already has an approved disability tax credit certificate for that period, you usually do not need a new medical statement. This is where the two main tax lines matter. For adult family members, there are two main lines to know. Line 30,425 and line 30,450. Let's go through each one. Line 30,425 is for your spouse or common law partner, or for an eligible dependent age 18 or older. For the 2025 tax year, you may be able to claim up to $8,601 on this line. The rules work like this. The person you cared for must have had a physical or mental infirmity, and their net income for 2025 must have been between $8,624 and $28,798. The exact amount you can claim depends on their income. The higher their income, the smaller the amount you can claim. And only one person can claim this amount for the same dependent. You cannot split or share it with another family member. Line 30,450 is different. It's for other infirm family members age 18 or older that you supported during the year. For the 2025 tax year, you may be able to claim up to $8,601 per dependent on this line. This can include certain close family members, such as parents, grandparents, adult children, siblings, and some extended family members. The person can be related to you, or to your spouse or common law partner. They must have had a physical or mental infirmity, been 18 or older, and been a resident of Canada during the year. Their net income for 2025 must have been less than $28,798. There is one important difference. Unlike line 30,425, you can split line 30,450 with another caregiver if more than one of you supported the same dependent. But the total claimed by both of you cannot be more than the maximum allowed for that one person. One warning to keep in mind. If someone is already claiming line 30,300 or line 30,400 for that same dependent, line 30,450 generally cannot be claimed. Here's one more thing to know. This credit is not based on receipts or specific caregiving expenses. You don't need to prove you spent a certain amount of money. What matters is that you provided regular support to a family member with an infirmity, and that the income and relationship rules are met. But the CRA may ask for proof. So keep good records. These can include medical statements, receipts, or bills you paid on their behalf. Records that show your relationship and how you supported your family member can also help. How do you actually claim this credit? You start with a tax form called Schedule 5. Schedule 5 helps calculate the caregiver amounts for line 30,425 and line 30,450. Then, you enter the final amounts on your tax return. If you use tax software, it may guide you through the Schedule 5 questions when you enter your caregiver information. Now, what if you already filed your 2025 tax return and you think you missed this credit? The good news is, you may still be able to fix it. Once you receive your notice of assessment from the CRA, you can request a change to your tax return. You can do this online through your CRA My account, or by mail using Form T1ADJ, T1 Adjustment Request. So if you supported a family member with an infirmity in 2025 and forgot to claim this credit, do not just assume it is too late. It may be worth checking. Here's the bottom line. The Canada Caregiver Credit is a non-refundable federal tax credit for Canadians who supported a family member with a physical or mental infirmity. For the 2025 tax year, you may be able to claim up to $8,601 on line 30,425, or up to $8,601 per dependent, on line 30,450. It is not a cash payment. It can only reduce the federal tax you owe. The dependent's net income matters, and the rules are different for spouses, eligible dependents, and other infirm family members. You may also need a signed statement from a medical practitioner, unless the CRA already has an approved disability tax credit certificate for that period. And if you already filed and missed it, you may be able to request a change after your notice of assessment. For questions about your specific situation, call the CRA at 1-800-959-8281. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps more seniors find this information. Subscribe to Wise Senior Canada so you never miss an update, and if you have questions or comments, drop them below. See you in the next video.